Welcome to another episode of What's the Word Mi Gente, where I put a face to the resource in the city. You're back for another episode. Now let's learn another resource. Today's episode has 3 federal resources that are amazing. Do you know about them? You don't have to because you learn about them today. So our first guest is Tammie from the SBA. Hey, girl.
Hi.
How are you? Of course. Next, we have Bridget from SCORE.
Nice to meet you. No, thanks for having me here.
Of course. Welcome. And then lastly, we have Athena from SBDC.
Hello. Thanks for having me here.
Of course. Y'all, business is nothing but acronyms. And all of those ladies work at acronyms. So let's first figure out what those acronyms are. So Tammie, what's SBA and what do they do?
So the SBA is the U.S. Small Business Administration, and we are the only federal agency that is established solely for the interests of small business. So the 3 primary programs that we have are capital, contracting, and counseling. So we have a lot of different resources for small businesses.
I know that's right. Next is SCORE. You'd never believe it, but it's SCORE acronym. What's SCORE about, Bridget?
Well, SCORE is the retired executive. It was basically, that was the old name. We don't really use that, but the acronym is basically retired executives because SCORE is been around for 60 plus something years. We have about 10,000 volunteers that work for it, and I'm sure we'll get into the rest a little later.
I know that's right. And now SBDC, what's that about?
SBDC is the Small Business Development Center, and we're part of a nationwide network that supports business owners at every stage of the business life cycle. So we have a program in Wisconsin. There's about 50-ish network members. Most of them are business consultants. And so from I'm thinking to starting a business to I'm looking to exit out, we are able to provide one-on-one assistance and then a variety of different classes as well to support that journey.
I love that. So everyone always talks about getting loans with the SBA or that the SBA is doing something with some money, but I don't know if everybody actually understands how to do that. So Tammie, can you explain what does loans, what are guarantees? How do we get some money from the SBA and can we?
So the SBA has different funding programs. The way that the SBA funding programs work is that you work with a bank, credit union, or one of our nonprofit lenders, and they provide the financing to you, and the SBA then gives them a guarantee on behalf of the business. So that helps to secure that funding for that business, giving that lender a little bit of extra collateral associated with that loan. So it really helps to reduce their risk in making that loan, especially for newer businesses or growing businesses. The application process always goes directly through the lender. The vast majority of banks and credit unions here in the state of Wisconsin are SBA lenders of some sort. So again, that process goes through them. The SBA doesn't do direct lending to businesses. It always goes through our lending partners. And we have programs that range from a general purpose loan for anything from buying a business, buying equipment, buying a building, working capital, just about anything that a business might need. And then we have more specialty programs that are for international trade or exporting. So if as a part of your business plan, those make sense, we have funding programs that can assist in that to kind of help that lender to provide funding for those particular activities. We also have small dollar loan programs. We have a micro loan program that's for loans up to $50,000. And those are very often done with newer businesses. So probably 60% of what the micro loan program covers is new businesses. Again, same use of funds can be utilized for that. So buying a business, working capital, buying equipment, just about anything. And then we also have programs that are more long-term fixed asset financing programs for buying a building or renovating a building. Those carry 25 years of a very low interest rate. So there's really a wide variety of financing programs that we have available.
I know that's right.
Go to our website, sba.gov/WI, to find local lenders and to find more details on those programs.
Okay, so we know that there's money out there, but how can we make sure that we get this money successfully? Y'all, I have at least 4 or 5 different mentors in different aspects, including someone from SCORE. So how can someone get a mentor at SCORE? How does that process work?
Great question. So, how you get a score? If you're in Milwaukee, you just Google Southeast Wisconsin score. If you're nationwide, we have tons of volunteers, we have tons of mentors that nationwide. And
Mhm.
also, the interesting thing about having a mentor is that if I can't help you or that mentor in your area can't assist you, we also co-mentor as well. So maybe you need an accountant. Maybe you need something more. Maybe you want someone that's been around in the same industry for 30, 40 years. And I could say, hey, let's partner up and give our client the best service that we can.
So now we have a mentor. We know we have money, but how can we put it all together with SBDC?
Yeah, so with the SBDC, in terms of accessing funding, we get clients that come to us kind of from a couple different doors. So sometimes they find us through our website or through a referral within their network. And so they'll just enter our front door by basically going to our website, finding the center that's tied to their localized area. And it's wisconsinsbdc.org. And they fill out a form that gets them into the system, and then they would hear back from someone at that center in terms of next steps with either scheduling a meeting or providing some resources if they're at early stages of thinking of a business. And so then through that, they'd work with the consultant to learn about their goals, their projects. And if they needed financing for their project, we'd really work with them to understand their positioning, their financing need, work with them to build out a financial model, and then also assess kind of matchmaking, what SBA products might be a fit for them and or which lender might be a match. And then the other lane that they come through is through lenders. So a lot of times lenders are working with the client and they see enough elements there that they really love to fund the deal. But they might need some help. And that would be either in really building out a strong financial model that addresses the things that we know a lender is going to want to look at, and or just making sure that business plan is in complete harmony with those numbers. So those would be 2 avenues that I would share.
Yeah, of course. So if you know me, I'm an events girly. I will attend every event. I will attend every webinar because I love to learn. So do either of you 3 ladies offer webinars or classes or educational pieces that people can attend?
We definitely do. SCORE definitely does. That's one of the main things that we offer initially. And it's also something that we talk about with our mentors as well. And it's constant education because we know as a business owner or as someone that's talking to business owners, there's so many aspects like AI. Those are things that are very intimidating for people. So we actually have a class tonight about the law loopholes and the law things that are covered that you will get in trouble, that a lot of business owners probably want to know, right? We also have one next month about how it can help your business. So we definitely are heavy on education. We definitely have online classes. We have in person. We also have like videos, a great library of videos on whatever you're looking for.
I know that's right. I have attended a few SCORE ones, and that you mentioned AI, that was the last one I attended. And she was actually such a good presenter. She taught me some things, and I was like, oh, maybe I need to start asking ChatGPT some more questions than I have been asking. And she gave me some really cool ideas for like social media marketing, some HR basics. So I always love to attend those kinds of webinars at SCORE. How can people find out about those webinars?
Those webinars are when you get on the same website, when you find us and you see Southeast Wisconsin, and then on the I want to say to the left of your page, down towards the bottom, you'll see classes. You don't have to get a mentor to take the classes.
That's good.
But that's how I initially got started myself, because I just kind of said, I want to know more about QuickBooks. Oh, I don't like QuickBooks, but see what else is out there. Just wanted to gather information. And I wound up on my 10th class, and me and the instructor connected really well. And I said, this is kind of nice that I can go to a website and I can see these resources free, absolutely free.
I know that's right. Another tidbit is add yourself to their e-blast. Y'all, they send emails at least once or twice a week, and I sign up for every single webinar, even if I can't attend, just so I know when it's available for other people as well. I've also attended some pretty cool events and webinars and classes that SBDC has. What kinds of classes do you guys offer?
Yeah, I would say there's a large variety of classes. Going to our website, there's a classes section, and you can see our various centers. So we have 11 centers throughout the state of Wisconsin, and some are heavy in programming, and it can be either in person or virtual, and you can see that offering. And it could be QuickBooks or tied to financing, accounting, understanding your numbers, marketing aspects. So all components of that, maximizing, optimizing SEO to just digital marketing presence, which is, really relevant today, and HR, to leadership classes, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot is out there. And I would say there's a few things on demand that are, just to point out. So we do have these how-to videos, so real quick videos that are based on, how to start a business, some of the legal things to be considering, compliance elements, financial elements. There's even some videos tied to accessing funding. What do you need to begin preparing if you're going to go and apply for a loan, and just understanding the documents that would be needed. So a variety of quick videos on demand, available to all, available also in Spanish and in Hmong. And then we have this other course that we'll often share with very early stage businesses. It's called First Steps to Starting a Business. And so it's about a 90-minute, take it at your own pace for timing. And it's just all the kind of things as you're thinking about a business, even just reflecting, is entrepreneurship right for you? A course that you can go through different modules,
Right.
that's available as well.
That's super cool. And they also do some really cool stuff. I, with my one-on-one mentor, she was based in La Crosse, and she helped me with my financial planning. I also attended one of their classes that gave me access to Live Plan for free for 3 months. So I was able to work on my business plan on a professional platform that I've never really used before. And they were able to give me a webinar on how to use the platform prior to getting on it, and then giving me the free access. So shout out to y'all. Also, I wanted to know, does anyone have any special programs for women, people of color, anything like that? I'll start with the SBA.
So SBA has a lot of different programs to offer there. So in addition to the SBA funded resource partners that are here today, so the SBDC and SCORE, SBA also does fund women's business centers, and we have 7 of them throughout the state here. You don't have to be a woman to take advantage of that. About 35% of the clientele that they work with are men as well. But they have very specific programming to help women entrepreneurs and minority and more underserved populations as well. So lots of programs to take advantage of there. They also have some funding programs available as well. One thing I'll mention too, going back to some of the educational piece. So in addition to what these ladies have already mentioned, SBA on our website also has what's called My SBA Learning, and it is a self-paced curriculum that takes it, from basically cradle to grave. It can help you with just about anything. And it's something that can be accessed 24/7. So especially entrepreneurs, they don't have a traditional schedule. Sometimes it's 1:00 in the morning and they finally have time to work on their business.
Right.
So it's really set up to help with that. So I know both SCORE and SBDC have some great tools there, but I will put that out there too, because it's a relatively new tool for the SBA. Additionally, for any webinars or educational series or program updates, SBA also does hold some webinars. And we also have a running list of not only the programming that we're putting on, but that our partners are putting on as well. So you
We
can
love
go to
that.
the website, sba.gov, to access any of the different programs that are out there, also through the Women's Business Centers, also through the Veterans Business Outreach Center, or the VBOC.
We love
They
VBOC.
have military connected programs as well. So there's a lot available out there. Also, these ladies both gave their websites as well. You can also go on to SBA's website, sba.gov, and there's a local assistance button. You simply put in your zip code and it'll tell you all the SBA funded partners that are in your area that can help with anything from writing your business plan to starting your business to really just about anything that your business might need.
I know that's right, SBA. Yes, absolutely.
I just want to add to that there are so many resources, and I think probably true to all of us, when clients come to us, we want to be knowledgeable about what our partners are doing or what some of the women business centers are offering, because we know entrepreneurs are eager. So if we're identifying, training needs or next steps for a plan, we are very open to what is everyone doing to kind of plug you into what makes sense for you as a business owner. And we have a really collaborative environment in that.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that, because that's kind of why I wanted to make this podcast. All these amazing resources are here, but it seems like there's some kind of disconnect. So I always call myself a resource bridge. I will get y'all to the resources. Now, what you do with the resources is up to you, but at least I brought you there. Now, my next question is, so people start businesses all the time. What is the biggest mistake that you ladies see businesses do right at the beginning? Tammie.
So I'll throw this one out there. So I would say, there's so many different areas that you could go with that. But the first and foremost thing that I tell all the small businesses or would-be small businesses is to get in touch with one of these partners. There is so much knowledge and experience and wisdom that I just can't speak highly enough about all of the resource partners and the assistance that they can give to you. And I tell this story very often, but we also personally have had small businesses where we've had SBA funding. And at that time, I did not work at the SBA then, but I did not know about all these resources. And I so wish that we would have, because it would have saved us many sleepless nights. It would have saved us money. It would have saved us all along the way. So I just believe wholeheartedly in working with these resource partners, because they can help you with anything that you need. So I would say, first and foremost, do that. They're kind of almost like your backdoor board, if you will.
And they're free.
And they're free. How much better can you get? And they're very objective. So they'll help you look at things, because, we all know that when we're thinking of something, you're in your own head and you think you have all the answers in there, but you're kind of going down this lane. And what I see is that when you work with these partners, they kind of help to open your vision up. And so they're not going to do the work for you, but they will help you think through some things a little bit differently. So, maybe you're going down here and they'll say, well, did you think about this? Or what about that? And all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah. So absolutely, that would be the first thing I
love that. How about you, Bridget?
Well, I feel like what I've seen and things that we talk about with other SCORE mentors are educating yourself and just understand the difference between knowing a job and a trade versus knowing how to run a business, because a business can be totally different. I could be great at shopping, but owning a boutique, I may not be good at it.
You got to have employees.
Right. And that's the other thing, the HR part of it. Also something, just to kind of piggyback off what Tammie was saying, is just understanding you can use us all. You can use us separately. We're all here as servants. I consider myself a servant to, future business owners and business owners. To that, I have a client I'm working with right now, and she says, I don't know where I want to start. And I said, well, she said, but I want a brick and mortar. I want this.
I know, that's right.
And I said, well, let's slow walk it, and everyone here is saying tons of resources about it, but it depends on, also what's a mistake. If someone's been in the industry for 20 years, they finally get this type of business, and all of a sudden that's new for them. Is it a mistake or is it something learning? So don't be afraid to fail.
I know that.
Because failing, you learn the most. My mentor told me, he said, I failed 80% of the time, and he's a very successful businessman. But how else do you learn?
Right.
So I meet a lot of entrepreneurs, that's usually their mistake I see them make. It's I don't want to fail, so they don't do anything.
Mhm.
So then it becomes fear of success.
I know that's right. Fail forward and fail fast, y'all.
Fail often, right?
Okay, often. How about you, Athena?
Yeah, it's so rewarding being in these positions because entrepreneurs are just the best. You know,
Yes,
they've got all this energy and creativity and just creating something out of nothing often and just really having to arrive every day being responsive to unknowns.
Mhm.
And I think where it's powerful to have someone along your side championing that work is that drive that you have is like the special side of entrepreneurship, but it often can maybe move and groove in a space that gets you into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I wouldn't say trouble, but it's just when you have that, like you see this vision of what's possible, your ideas are constant and so forth. I find a lot of our entrepreneurs need just focus, and we can help them maybe identify what are 3 things we're going to order them and what's going to get you kind of the maximum benefit. And we just can get focused on steps because there's often just so much inertia and possibility seeing that really needs to get tempered with some clear steps. And then in addition to there's to-dos. There's like a checklist of to-dos. You're buying a building, you're getting a loan, you're building a business plan, you're doing a marketing plan. All those to-dos are teachable. And so if you do find, someone that can help guide you, they can teach you those things and you don't have to have the missteps. That's all there and ready and available and present to be responsive. It's more that, just this ability to take that vision and just have someone who's like watching out for you. So it's shaped in the best steps. And then inevitably, it's like, you're in it for the long haul. Like the greatest success that we see and like the compounding success you need some time in it. So the other one element I would add is just sometimes people, wake up at 2 a.m. and they have an idea and like they're ready to meet with us. And you have to spend some time, like learn what the thing is that you want to bring into the world, how it's going to be so special because you're doing it. Know that industry inside and out, go get experience in it. That kind of stuff is just, it's so important to do. So you really have the best shot. Just knowing how hard it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I am such an overthinker, y'all. And I will have 1,000 steps in my head. But when I actually write it down, it's like 5 steps, y'all. I'll be so salty that all I had to do was write down my process. So I love that you mentioned like focusing on what you want to do and actually sticking to your lane. You don't and can't drive on more than one lane at a time. So make sure that you stick to your lane. So last question for us. What is the biggest or piece of advice that you have for up and coming business owners or somebody who's already been in business? I'll start with you, Bridget.
So the biggest piece of advice I could say would be don't be afraid to keep learning. Don't be afraid to find out what's going on with government because it affects us. There's lots of grant monies out there. Don't depend on grant money all the time, but just constantly educating yourself on business, where you want to go, taking obviously advantage of all of our great resources, and just being open to learning, everything,
I know that's right. I'm a lifelong learner, y'all. I am a sponge. Every time at work that there is an opportunity to learn, my boss knows that he will be hearing from me because I love to learn and just be a resource to others. So if I know more, that means y'all know more. How about you, Athena? Any advice?
My advice is like, know your numbers. I mean, numbers are key to the business.
Yeah.
And so I would just say, know your numbers, have some type of budget to actual that you're regularly evaluating and understanding. If you aren't hitting your numbers, having some effective response to that and adjustment, it's so key. And then secondary would be taking care of yourself, like as a
Amen.
business owner, is often we see that you're probably wired to be taking care of everyone, and yet it's so important that you're refueling yourself so that you can show up as that best leader for anyone that's around you. And then also, in addition to just you getting some joy in the work for what you're doing.
Yes. I love that you mentioned budgeting and financing. That's actually our next episode, y'all. So we will be having 3 finance professionals talk about what is personal budgeting, what is business budgeting, what are our 3 financial statements, and what does it mean to be actually financially safe and like have good finances in a business. Do I just have cash in the bank? Does that mean I'm a good business? You'll find out at the next episode. Tammie, any advice?
Yes. I would say network from so many different angles. You mentioned before to go to as many things as you can, learn, talk to people. Tell people what you're doing. Tell people about your business. Don't be afraid. The more you get it out there, the better that is. But then also the more events or networking that you do, you'll find out about other resources or, other people who are doing business similarly to you, so that you can have a mentor. There's lots of economic development organizations that have a number of different programs. So the more that you're out there, the more you talk to people, the more you get out, the more you will find out and realize that, everybody is really trying to help people as best that they possibly can. So I'd say network.
If you know me, y'all know I'm everywhere, okay? Because I need to be everywhere. If I want to be the best resource for y'all, I have to be everywhere. So I will be everywhere. Thank you, ladies, so much for being a part of this episode. How can somebody reach SCORE?
You can reach SCORE by
www.scoresoutheastwisconsin.com.org. I know that's right. Y'all better get on SCORE. How can we find out or get in contact with SBDC?
WisconsinSBDC.org.
And SBA?
SBA is sba.gov/WI. Or if you would like to email us, you can email us at wisconsin@sba.gov.
Thank you again, ladies. I hope y'all take advantage of one of these resources, if not all 3, because you can take advantage of all 3 of them at the same time. Thank you for watching another episode. See y'all next time.